Yo, what is going on, guys? RealDallasN here with another podcast interview. I got my boy Nebby here today, World of Nebby on Instagram. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys are liking the podcast. I am enjoying them myself, and I love just having these things back to back. So without further ado, Nebby, welcome to the channel, my boy.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Tell the world a little bit about Nebby. Nebby, what do you do?
I do a lot of things. It's just, I would say I'm an engineer.
Okay.
That's kind of like what my full-time gig is.
Mm-hmm.
Liability on the weekends, I'd say.
Liability?
Liability on the weekends. And then after that, I would say I'm a man just trying to live life. I'm trying to be like the citizen of this planet. I don't know how well you follow me on Instagram, but
I follow.
Yeah, I follow. Every post, no worries.
I see you jumping out of airplanes. That's for sure. I'm like, what the
I know, man. That's what I'm in that headspace, kind of like the Austin vibe. Like, oh, man, I'm trying to find myself.
Oh, please.
And I'm not trying to drink a lot of that Kool-Aid, but it's kind of one of those things that has like a good take to it. And I've been, just trying to adventure and experience everything.
Absolutely. I mean, so I don't know if you know this. I moved back to Dallas from Austin, but I was there for
Dallas from Dallas.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm like confused because I feel like I'm still an Austinite or like Austinite. I'm not even Austinite. Jesus Christ. I'm entitled already. Jesus Christ. Lived there for 5 years. I'm trying to claim shit that I'm not even in. Yeah. Anyhow, I know exactly how that vibe is because Austin's very free, and like I felt like I did so much more socializing and hanging out on like Rainy on the weekends and like going to the creeks at Barton Creek, and then not even that, going to San Marcos, floating everywhere. And so like basically I could definitely tell like Austin's got that vibe of just like adventuring and at least allowing yourself to break a little bit free from your normal mundane lifestyle. I mean, I think it's fun down there, to be honest. I miss it. But I'm not gonna lie, Dallas has its perks too, to be completely honest. If you ever been here?
Yeah, I've been here a couple of times. I have a good buddy of mine from college that lives out there.
Nice.
And I came out to visit. I've been to that whole that Star Stadium thing.
Oh, the
Concrete Cowboy.
Concrete Cowboy up near the Star, yeah, Frisco area.
Yeah,
that's basically where I live.
Yeah, that's been there. I had a few nights there. I used to tell people it's like, I just got drafted because he just has that fucking stadium right there. You never played football. How'd you do it?
Guys, I'm the new running back. I'm replacing Zeke.
When you like lie on your resume, like how many years? I mean, high school, college, all American. I don't see you. It's like South America. Sorry.
Straight up, dude. I feel that. Hell yeah. Well, yeah. So you said where did you go to college? You went to I think Iowa
State. Hey, correct yourself, man.
Iowa State?
Yes.
Not U of I.
Not U of I. Iowa State.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys. It's a good school, man. I've had quite a few events there, which is kind of all on the weekends. Like I said, liability has been on full effect.
I feel that.
What? Go ahead.
You still into? So, what engineering do you do? You do software engineering or?
So I got my bachelor's in chemical.
Okay.
Then I went ahead and did one of those boot camps, and then I became full stack. I knew before, so I just kind of had software and chemical. But I work for a firm where I kind of use all the skills. Kind of, it's a good place. I like the energy, so I was like,
yeah. I mean, So you took like the certification route after your chemical engineering. So tell me a little bit about that though, because certifications in general, like right now, like I'm kind of still trying to understand how certifications work versus like a university degree in the actual fields of work. For me, I never even went to college, so I don't know exactly how even bachelor's degree works or whatever it is. Like everybody says like the golden ticket on your way in, basically. And from what my experience, if you don't have that, you don't get like the next top jobs. You only get like a little small breathing room whenever you're like a piranha, trying to get to those things. But basically certifications are kind of like the even playing ground sort of.
I mean, I would say, engineering is like you have, if you take a few years, well, I took a couple of victory laps, I would say. But like I said, the liability thing, comes in full effect on the weekends.
I feel that.
But I had like a lot of major switches, shit like that. And then I guess a degree is like a bachelor's is like accredited, right? Like, but yeah, with the boot camps, it's just kind of like expedited. I mean, you can't learn everything. You learn all the languages. There's so many languages and like, software as well.
Yeah. But
it's a very expedited within like, a few months.
Yeah.
Like probably like around a year, I'd say 8 to a year.
That's not
you kind of get it. Yeah. I mean, you get, at the end of the day is how much you want it, right? You go to school for like 10 years and still not know shit if you don't like, if you're not interested. A lot of times, like, dude, when I graduated, man, I was like, I literally wanted to, if they let me speak, man, like on the podium, I would have been like, I like to thank Google and check for, because they're the real MVPs. They're the guys that know it. Like,
for real, dude. I Google I literally just keep my phone on Google. Like I have the website pulled up almost 24/7. I'm like, how the fuck do I do this shit right now?
Google University, man. Like I should just put that on there, dude.
Pretty much. But, I think I started out doing like IT certification from Google's like Coursera course. And honestly, it was pretty helpful. I mean, it got you at least like thinking about it. And then, whenever that led to like interviews, because before I left Austin, I basically had a fall through with my job and I was like trying to figure out, okay, like fuck all this data shit. I don't want to be in this field at all. I just want to be over in the tech side because I'm way smarter with like networking and setting up computers and figuring all that stuff out compared to like sitting there trying to crunch numbers and like figure it out for people who are just literally dealing with this shit all day. Like, I worked at Whole Foods doing data. So it's like, you basically have this whole field where they're, researching. I mean, I don't know how much I can talk about this really, but I don't work there anymore. So fuck it. So basically, you have like these people who are doing data and research studies behind like the customer's like intake basically. And that's how you do have any predictions on like what to order for the stores. So it's like you go through all these like numbers and what's being purchased, and you got to create algorithms and figure out how much product do we need of this, and does Susie come in on Sundays to buy her oat milk latte? Let's make sure we have like an extra one for her because she wants to buy 2 this time. She's increasing her spending. Like it's crazy how this shit works, and it's basically we put that down, and I started doing the Coursera course, and so basically I was learning that, and then got an interview over at another spot that I'll say is a big thing coming to Austin, if it's not already a big thing that was there. But basically I got an interview with them for their tech team, and learned a lot through that too. Like went through a whole stage interview process, and I think that certification process was just really interesting because it wasn't like a degree, but yet they respected it that I was going through it. So is that similar to you? Like how it worked out?
Here's the thing is like, you're not going to remember everything you learned, right? In college or whatever certification you do. It's like, what I think it is like a degree is a good thing is like, where to look. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what you're learning. It's just pretty much, you're not going to remember shit. Like you're not going to remember what you learned on third year. Oh, let me like pull that shit up out of my ass. Like you're not going to ever know that. But the thing is, we're all, even with whatever boot camp, whatever you go to is, there's so much shit that goes on so much stuff that is new every day, like new languages. I learned a software language when I was in, when I was in undergrad. Mm-hmm. And then that shit right now it's like MATLAB. Now it's like Python, like, shit changes, right? But like, you'll get the idea. You know what to look for. So all these things shows you is that, okay, like you're not going to be lost out of like, when you see some problem, you're not going to be lost. You're going to be like, okay, all right, this is it. Like, it's the same problem. Maybe I don't understand. What's like you go to a foreign country and you see some dude's face like angry. Okay, you might not understand what the fuck he's saying. Figure out he's gonna beat your ass. So it's like that's what it is. It's like everything, all it is just like, okay, here are the things. You'd be like, here are the steps to figure it out. Yeah, right? I think that's all it is. It's like like people a lot of times I think it is respectable. I think even going through it, 2 things you get out of it would be obviously you'll know where to look, but also shows people you have the discipline to get it done, right?
Exactly.
Like if you're suffering, I'm that bitch, like, even if it like I didn't do well so hot in the class or, semester, if I'm back next semester, like, yo, like I'm in this bitch to finish it.
Exactly.
Then you're like, okay, you have the ability to be like, okay, I'm determined and I could get it done. And that's it. Like,
That's golden nugget of information right there, is to fucking persevere no matter what like comes at you. Because straight up, like, you know, like I was awful at school, and that's why I stopped even going to college. But I mean, honestly, I would have kept going if I didn't have my medical interruption. But I don't even need to talk about that because that's a long story. But honestly, yeah, that's a really good nugget of information. You guys need to learn about this shit, because this is honestly the key ticket to achieving anything that you really want to in life. Is just kind of not shortcutting it, but like really going after it, like wholeheartedly persevering through it. And like, you know, let's just say you go through it and you maintain at least 80% of the information. That other 20%, you're like, fuck, like never going to know it. Maybe somebody else will be better at that at some point. You can kind of collaborate, but at least if you get down like that 75, 80 percentile of like information, hey, at least you're fucking of value to somebody, you know, in some sense. And then you can always go back and learn it again, right? Like you can always go back and sharpen up your skill, you know, the next time around.
Exactly. It doesn't just generally have to be school. It's just anything you do. It's just like, even in sports, right? Like I think a lot of things that have paved me is because like sports. And like, okay, you're not, you know, when I was in high school, I did sports, and it's like, okay, you know, I wasn't good at it at first, but your determination of the fact that where you started and where you ended, when you see that, like you're not gonna be the fucking fastest or, you know, the best at it. But shit, man, like you went from nothing to something. Yeah. So it like also gives you it's also like a reinforcement to you that, okay, I'm able to do it. So all it took is just that you just got to show up. Exactly. You know, like nothing is ever going to look perfect, you know?
Exactly.
I started like a e-commerce company like a while back. My first one was I like applied for patents on it. And it's like a Soul Pal. It's just like a waste bag dispenser for dogs. I was like, and it was initial. I was raising funds. It was like right before COVID.
Yeah.
And I would say why this would be a good example is because, yeah, dude, like I had an idea, but I was like, you have to execute, right? It's not, I was always used to be worried about, oh, is it going to be perfect? Oh my God, what if people don't want it? Fuck it. Like there's no way to know unless you do it, right?
Exactly.
And that's all it is. It's just, anything is just like, you bring it to the table, and it's just ability to show up every day. Oh, it's not going to be the best shit ever, but you're telling yourself like, okay, this is, you know, the ability that you started something. Now you want, even if you didn't get shit done. I know this is like a cheesy, I feel like, you know, I'm fucking in Austin giving an inspirational speech, but it's like, it is what it is. Like it didn't boom off. Maybe not, like maybe I put a lot of things on the back burner, but I was able to put it out there and led to other, you know, ventures that I had to do.
Absolutely. That's the same thing with these videos, bro. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna record the shit. I don't give a fuck. Like I literally am just like, hey, I'm here, bro. Like I'm at the, you know, it was funny. Have you ever heard of Elliot Hulse?
No.
Okay, so anyways, I talk about this guy a lot. I don't know why. He was just a funny guy that I watched growing up. He took like a long hiatus from YouTube, and then he finally got back on. And now he's kind of like really spiritual with his stuff, right? Which is cool, you know, but it's like he used to not be so, and now he is. But anyways, he has this one video that I absolutely fucking love, because he does it. He's like, guys, if you're not willing to go into, you know, a classroom and have the humble necessity to be like in the back, be like, raise your hand and be like, I don't know this fucking answer. Like what, you know, like, can you answer this for me? Like, you can't be afraid to ask like stupid questions, or be afraid to be the fool, or be afraid to be the person that doesn't know what they're talking about. Like that's honestly, a lot of people who are successful and who are like already at like a high level will tell you that, like, if the more ability that you have to humble yourself into those positions, if you can just learn how to start it, you know, eventually, you know, you get into mastery where you do 10,000 hours or whatever it is that people say it takes to master something. But really the funnest part is like being a fucking noob at something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's actually like the biggest problem nowadays is like, you can see in every aspect in society here, right? Like everybody wants like a fucking perfect start. Like I'm gonna fucking come up, like, believe me, like the same way when you start lifting, dude, I used to be 115, 20 pounds, you know, I like peaked out at like 220, you know? And it's like, for what? Like, I mean, when I started, dude, I couldn't fucking, you know, bench the damn fucking bar. I swear to God, I'm not even fucking with you, dude.
Yeah.
I was not built for this, but like, the thing is I showed up, right? And I keep showing up, some shit will happen. And you're never gonna like, dude, I remember when I started, I'm like, holy fuck, I can't even wear tanks and shit. I was like a fucking stick walking around. But I'm like, who fucking cares, man? Like, I don't want to live my whole life with what ifs. Like, oh, what if I didn't do this? You know, I'll never say I'm the best at anything, but God damn it, I'll be there, dude. I'll figure something out.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's it.
It's exactly what it is. I mean, speaking of the gyms, honestly, that's how we met. We met through Tolbert, and literally just like randomly, I'm like showing up one day, and I had the opposite problem. I'm fat as fuck. I was like, I can lift things, but damn, I'm just huge. I gotta lose this weight. I was like at least two. I started at like 260.
You're not bad though. Like,
bro, I was 260. I was like
really?
260 pounds, bro. Like I was fat. When I first started working there, I was at the most depressed area of my life, bro. I couldn't hold down my girl. I couldn't fucking, I honestly took, a cut in pay to literally work at the gym just to like use it as an asset to my life to where I could like find some energy again. And like when I got in there, I started using that, and basically I met everybody, in that Gold's Gym, and just started spinning the process. And I was like, I used everybody. I was like a fucking machine. I was like, anybody who came in, I was like, hey, I want to be your friend, bro. Like, what's up? They're like, hey, let's lift sometime, bro. Like, let's lift. Let's keep going. And basically I just started that process. And that's how I even met Shane or anybody. It was funny though. He told me at the very beginning, he's like, you're not going to last more than 2 weeks. He's like, I'll give you 2 weeks. And I was like, bitch, I made it 3 years. What's up? I always hold him to it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like I said, you put yourself in that good position too. And it's like I said, it's just, I guess it's also your environment matters, right? What I love about Austin, one thing I love about Austin is like you have the ability to be like, wait a second, let me like look around. And what you did is like, okay, I'm gonna go be at the gym so I could surround myself with the energy that'll put me into the place I want to be, right?
Absolutely.
Which I think is
absolutely. So basically, do you still train? What are you doing now with your training? Are you still in that heavily? Are you aiming for like physique competitions or anything like that? What you got going on?
I mean, like I said, fitness in me is just like I said, it's the same thing with my school, right? It's kind of like how I did it. It shows you constant progression, right? I don't really chase. I've dabbled in so many things in fitness, right? I've done like wrestling. I've done like combat sports. I've done powerlifting. I've never really done like a physique thing because I'm always kind of like, maybe I would one day. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my goal is just to constantly improve myself. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'd say I'm in that area where it's just, I'm looking for, just as long as I'm working out, keeping myself healthy and just like longevity, I guess.
Absolutely.
What I look for. It's just a combination of everything. It's just a balance of it all.
Yeah.
That's what I look for. And the constant.
I feel that. Hell yeah. I mean, I'm still, I don't even know if I want to do a competition. I've been doing this for a long minute now, and I'm like just now thinking about maybe doing it just as an extra hobby. And but yeah, honestly, the gym's a beautiful fucking place. I mean, I miss it down there. I wish I could go back. I'm probably at some point will probably go down there and visit and go to the old stomping grounds and say hi to everybody and be like, yo, what's up? But for now, I mean, so you went to Gold's Gym. Have you ever heard of John Reed?
No.
Dude, okay, so RSG is the company that bought out Gold's after the COVID stuff. You still have a membership at Gold's? I don't know if you...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically Omni TRT Holdings basically used to own Gold's Gyms. And so up here in Dallas, bro, like they're building like completely different shit than like, it's going to be Gold's Gym, but it's called the Gold's Gym Evolution. And like all of their equipment is all like German backed equipment. It's smooth as fuck. I don't know if you've seen my Instagram stories. I've kind of been filming in there.
Yeah.
They got the DJ booth in there and everything. Like it's fucking nuts. So John Reed is like the step above Gold's, right? So if you get a membership at John Reed, you get a membership to all the Gold's gyms. And so at some point there's going to be like a John Reed in every single city. And basically they're going to surround the John Reeds with like all the Gold's gyms, the new ones. So all the equipment is like insane. And the gyms are going to be like actual, like towards bodybuilding and all that style because like that Gold's on William Cannon, that one that we used to go to, that one felt super grimy, I guess, but like
local, very locally.
Yeah. But like what they're doing now is they're keeping that grungy vibe as the texture in the background, but the equipment's going to be all like updated and brand spanking fucking new. And these guys are like not joking, dude. I hope that in some point they send it down to Austin so that you guys can see it. Or if you guys ever want to come up here and check it out, like you guys got to. It's fire. If you ever see yourself in Dallas, like come check it out.
Yeah, I go to usually one by downtown. It's like closer to me. I used to go to that one because when everybody was training, like everybody was kind of like going there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, I like it. I think it's, like I said, for me, it's like I'm in there, I show up, I'm still alive.
It's so affordable too.
Yeah, it's definitely
like you can't beat that price.
No, I was like, okay.
Now they got rid of the annual fees and all that shit too, which is great.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
now I learned something new.
I don't know if you've re-signed up at all, but they, like, I think like they changed like 30, 35 and 40 or something like that. 30 for one gym, 35 for all of them. You just sign up for the $35 and you just pay that rate. That's it. You don't pay any annual fees or anything like that anymore.
No, I was going to do that Goals Fit one too. That they have that circuit. Like I said, for me, it's like it has everything. I think it's like, since I've built a decent amount of strength and stuff like that, it's like I want something where, all right, I'm gonna go in there. Like I said, it's not like my main passion, but I still want to be fit and healthy. So I just might actually do that where it's like, it's an hour. I don't have to like, just warm myself off, psych myself out to pull up,
It's kind of better when you have an instructor telling you what the fuck to do, like all the time. It's like almost like kind of having a coach on it.
Exactly. No, I actually had my meals prepped by Meal Pros, I think at one point, and there's like
yeah, I heard about that place. How was it? How was that?
It was good, man. I mean, it was scale. Like he had calorie, all of it as like the macro lined up. You choose online. It tells you how much the food weighs, and like it's like he's like a swole dude. It's like. And it's like he knows that shit and it has all the protein, all the calorie intake. So you could kind of like, all right, if I ate 800 today, right now I could eat this much later. So it was just, it took such a big step out. So I mean, if I add that and did something like this, you're set because everything is done for you. And then you have like more time to focus on other shit that you have to do,
Absolutely. No, I feel that. So basically I mean, we'll step away from all that gym talk or whatever, but AKA, I saw you skydiving, right? How are you enjoying that? Is that fun?
It's good, man. So like, what I did was one day I was sitting down and I wanted to do something, right? But one of the reasons why I did it was also I obviously I want to do it, but I also want to start like a documentary. I've always wanted to do something like a passion project where it's like, oh, like what you're doing, like Nevi's World, and it's like just do documentary on cool shit, like. I would say, like, if you seen me do it, right? Me and you, if you see me as, like, I'm just me and you, right? Like, we're just all shooting shit, and we're like, okay, I'm going to fucking go learn how to skydive. And you go through all the process, what I went through, you'll be like, oh, it's not that bad, right? And it's kind of like a way to show the world, like, okay, this is one thing I'm exploring, and you could live through me, or you could, use this as inspiration and do it your fucking self,
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to look at it. Because, I mean, for me, like, I don't think my ass would ever jump out of a fucking plane at all. I'd be like, hell no, I am not doing that. But at the other side of it, though, I wanted to talk a little bit, like, about adrenaline. And, like, so, like, when you're jumping out of that plane, like, how do you feel? Like, how did you feel the first time that you were jumping out? Was it, like, fucking nerve-wracking? Or, like, how did you get over that initial jump? And like, how did that feeling go for you, and how did it go as you were falling?
So I don't know how much you know, but I've done like a lot of extreme sports in the past, right? So it's like when I was 18, I did my first skydive. It was like the moment I was out of the house, I'm like the moment I was able to sign for myself, fucking doing some reckless shit. So
damn.
I was like, all right, because these are things I wanted to do all my life.
Okay, I graduated high school. Let's go.
All right, say less. All right, okay, here we go. And then I was like, I think I was my first time I did it was I was working at this like pool, and I was like a lifeguard, and they had this thing every year. They go do skydives. So one year I was like, fuck yeah, I'll go. Like shit, I can sign now. Like, because my mom will freak out. My mom, I'm an only child, so it's like my mom be like, dear God, like why, like So I was able to sign. I was like, fuck it. And then I got on the plane. I was cool, dude. The thing is, I never really like took it into my head like what would possibly feel like. For some reason, I was like idle. Like I was just like, okay. And then we started going up in the plane. So we were like attached to somebody who's talking to you. I'm like, oh yeah, man, nothing, whatever. I don't know why, dude. But when we got up to like, I think it was like we were ascending up to like I think 15,000 feet. And they opened the window, to like the whole gate, right? I'm like, oh fuck! Like I'm in the sky, dude. I was like, shit, like maybe my mom was right, not me doing this shit. So I was like, okay, whatever. And I see the first dude jump out. I mean, dude, it just like gone. I'm like, ooh, okay,
like, shit,
okay, right,
he
cool.
gone.
Gone. I'm like, okay, like so at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go.
I don't know why, but like the meme of that like shooting star song came into my head, like that.
Dude,
he's like flying through the universe.
Dude, that's me. Oh, dude. Oh, it gets better. So like those are tandems. So I jumped out. The dude was kind of fucking with me, like messing with me. I'm like, dude, I'm not in the mood for that. Like, bro, like we're in the sky. Like this is our life. He said some joke, dude. I'll never forget, bro. He said like, yo, the chute ain't open. Or like, oh, something like some goofy shit at the end. I'm like, dude, I'm not in the right mindset now because now we're in the sky. So we're floating. It's like a free fall. We're like, oh, in the fucking air. I'm like, bro, like, don't play with me like this, you know? But he opened the chute, and I was kind of a little scared. Even when we landed, I was kind of a little bit pissed off. I'm like, it was funny, haha, but like, it wasn't funny up there, you know?
No, exactly.
And, fast track, I did another tandem on another similar, like somebody attached to you. Like in 2020 for my birthday, I had people go, and then fast track, like, I mean, obviously a few weeks back, I was like, I'm gonna do my solos. I think this is even though I did this tandems, I was comfortable with it. I remember when I did my, like, I was like, you do this like ground school, they teach you like all the possible shit that could go wrong with that parachute, and you gotta learn all that shit. I'm like, all right, okay, like, oh yeah, it's, you know, is it a full malfunction? I'm like, yo, I had these pictures of like what it could look like, and I was like, I swear to God, I've never studied something like that in my life. I was at home like looking at the pictures, and okay, all right, like I even quizzed myself because I'm like, it could get pretty, you know, reckless up there.
Yeah,
so,
like what would you fucking do if there's like a hole in one of them? Like, I mean, I guess there's a backup one, and
yeah, there's a backup, but they have like process to it, dude, and they're like, it's actually relatively safe once you like start understanding how they do a lot of this stuff. You're like, oh wow, okay, I guess I'm not really, you know, like just fucking blindfold, like, you know, I'm not just jumping out.
Yeah.
Oh,
they make it seem so like they make it seem so normal, but like the thoughts about it, I'm sure there's processes. Like some guy was probably like, these fucking idiots think like, you know, like one string gets turned like sideways and you're done for. You know, it's like, no, like there's actually like multiple, you know, there's at last resort, I guess, the backup. The first one is like to try to like unhinge it or try to spin it around, spin the other way or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like I said, they have all these kind of strategies for it. And like if it's like so what's it called? I don't know the name, but it's like if it's tangled, you could kind of like bicycle kick your way out. If there's a hole, there's like ways that could you like control the canopy, which is like the parachute. But anyway, so the biggest thing is, so you learn all this shit, and then you're on the plane. I kid you not, the night before, I'm like, man, am I fucking like stupid as shit or what? Like, because I couldn't sleep. I'm like, yo, I'm really about to jump out the plane by myself. Like, I am literally like, I paid for this too. It's not like.
Yeah, it's like I put myself here. No one's like forced you to go. Like you didn't lose a bet. It's like, okay.
I just said to myself, like, I'm like, I was like, you know, my mom says sometimes I act kind of stupid, you know, I kind of act reckless. So I was like, damn, is this one of those days? Like, I was like, and I remember I was at the gym the night before. I couldn't hold the weight. Like I was holding the weight, but my hand was not feeling it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so I was that nervous. I got there, but the thing is, after we did like these drills, I literally, for some reason, I just calmed down. I'm like, fuck, like, I was like, fuck it. Like,
yeah,
whatever happens, happens. And this is something I wanted to do. And I remember I got on that plane. So the instructor goes with you. Like, he's going to jump with you.
Yeah.
But I remember I was at that door. I was like, 1, 2, 3. And you're just out like, and then like the wind is in your face. And I'm like, okay. I looked at my altimeter, which is like your altitude, how far you're up. I'm like, all right, at this point, I just got to like, calm down and figure shit. If I freak out, I'm dead. Because he has to go himself. Like, he's not going to risk his life for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to just hold my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pulled the pilot chute, just like pulls your parachute up. Yeah. I looked up, thank fucking God, it's normal. Like, it's normal, not like angled. None of that shit I learned. And I'm like, Jesus, okay, that's good. And then crazy thing is, you're like hanging up there, right?
Yeah.
And you're like doing all these things to make sure your parachute is working. And then I look up, dude, the moon was right there. It was a full moon, and it was in the day. I don't know why, but that moon was out there.
Yeah.
And it was but it's like one of those things you can see in the sky because it's a very clear
because it's like basically there's nothing blocking it or anything. You're like literally up there just looking at everything down below, but nothing's blocking that view. It's just out there.
It was like, I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm like, woo, okay. I was like, all right. And then I was like,
touch that real quick.
I was like, for a second, I had like to take a deep breath. I looked down, everything looks like a Google Maps like satellite image. So I'm like, okay, all right, like and then this landing thing is like they call you're like a pilot of like a canopy. They say like you pilot your shoe, and they say that that's like a whole. I think most like the hardest part is like landing. You have to like see where the wind is, and you have to land against like up the wind. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, all that. I'm like, all right, fucking parachute's moving. I'm like, thank God, okay, all right. And then like you have to follow all this thing, and when I made it down, I was like,
yeah. I always feel like I was like, I'm like, I also think about the landing, and I'm like, man, I just don't want to like have my feet be like stiff and like break my legs or some shit as I land. It's like you almost have to like slide in, like.
Yeah, well, they have multiple ways. Like people walk it out, but they usually say when you start off, they told me to like kind of slide, baseball slide, or just like tuck and roll, like PLF they call it. Like I think that's what it's called. It's like you tuck and roll, and then you kind of avoid, hurting your legs or breaking your ankles. Mm-hmm. But usually, most of the other guys just walk that shit out. But like, you're not gonna. I was not even trying to think of like look cool my first one. So, but what I'll tell you is that when you do that, like, I remember when I did it the first time, I was in the sky. I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the sky, man. Yeah. Like, at this point, what can you not do? You're like, you literally just in the sky with a string and some cloth holding you up.
Exactly. So like everything down here in life regularly just seems like normal as fuck now. You're like, this is easy. I was like scared to go knock on a door one day. Like now I'm fucking good.
It was, I'm telling you, man, I felt happy. Those things, it just made me feel happy. I'm like, oh my God, I could do whatever the fuck I want. Obviously within limits, right? You can't go reckless, but like, some things that you do fear, like I wanted to do it, but I was scared to do it, right? I was kind of pushing it back. I'm like, one day, it makes a little expensive, whatever. I'm like, fuck it. A few weeks ago, I'm like, I wanted to do something, like I said, like start something with the documentary where I just have my face in front of the camera and kind of representing something I want to do. I don't want to be like, the problem with me was a lot of times is that I did not want to put myself on camera and, people will not understand there's different sides of me, right? Yeah. I just don't want to be there telling you, I could show you how to make an investment portfolio. Like, and I've done a decent amount of investing where I know that. Yeah. I could tell you about coding or, engineering or like technical stuff or inspiration, but like, how do I present it to you? And I'm also goofy. So like, sometimes you look at me like I'm a goofball. So it's like, bro, is this guy just ever serious? But it's like, that's the biggest thing I had. The biggest dilemma I had in my head is like, I don't want to show myself to the world and just be like, okay, maybe like, how do I show everything at once, right? So I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do everything, but in time it will come, right? I never really applied that principle that I had when I did a lot of things, when I try to accomplish a lot of things in life, is that all you got to do is just start, right? And then some shit will figure itself out. Like you'll be able to do what you want to do. It's just that you just got to put yourself in front of the camera. Like even being on the shows, like I felt comfortable. It's like, okay, I just got to put myself out there. Well, how long do I wait? Life is short. People you can never wait till tomorrow. And another crazy thing I saw was, you watch Batman, right? Like all the trilogy. I don't know. Like I love those Dark Knight movies.
I used to watch the Dark Knight ones. I've slowed down on my movie watching processes because I don't have fucking time. Like I mean, I do, but I just like choose to like, I guess, do this or like learn or whatever it is. But like, I mean, but yeah, I do. I understand the Batman.
Yeah, there's a line there that was pretty cool. But he said there was that prison where they had like it's underground, but it's like an opening and you could like climb your way out, right?
Yeah.
He said the craziest thing is like he said the reason why people are so happy down here because they have the hope thinking tomorrow they could climb out, but they never do, right? So it's like the biggest imprisonment somebody has is hope, right? So you'd be like, oh, I didn't talk to this girl, or like, oh, I didn't do this, but I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
The idea of saying that keeps you like doing the same routine you do. Exactly. Because you'll never change because you're so worried about so much shit that could go wrong, but you know the potential that's there, but you don't want to execute because you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I got time tomorrow. Yeah, but just like, and I'm like 29, I'm about to be 30 this year. And it's like, I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I waiting for? You know, like I could focus on like my work. I could get my job done. And also I'm do some passion projects that I'm passionate about. And I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'd say like that was like my biggest thing. I mean, with the YouTube, it took me forever to fucking get it started, even though I wanted to do it. I just wasn't confident. I was like, well, maybe once I look better, once I like, get my physique in order, and people like respect me better because I look, skinnier maybe and not a fat fuck. Who wants to listen to that guy who's fat as fuck over there? No one. So like, I mean, not saying that like, there's not people, but like at the same time though, if you want to be respected, you need to take care of yourself. You need to, carry yourself a certain way. And like, so I just started realizing I used to carry myself a certain fucking way, and then I lost it all. The same thing with like dating nowadays, man. There's girls that I'm just like, God damn, like just damn, like they're fine, bro. But like as soon as you want to go approach them or whatever it is, you have this mindset that's like, oh, well, if I ask them out though, like I got to make sure I have enough money in my bank account, or whatever it is. Not just that, but like, oh shit, like literally this is literally one of my stoppages was basically my car has so one night in Austin I was driving. Sorry, I fucking am going to go down this rabbit hole really quick just because let's tell that story really fast about the car, a reason why I think this, right? So in Austin one day, I was driving home from Domain basically at night, and this fucking car like cut me off and trying to get on a Mopac and basically hit this like curb in the middle of it. So basically like my whole like front right tire just got fucked up basically, and just I couldn't use it anymore. Anyhow, so now I got my car fixed and everything like that, but I have one tire on there that I haven't gotten matched back to my all black rims, like my carbon fiber rims basically. And so I have one tire on there that looks like a fucking donut, bro. It looks so bad. Like I look at it every day. I'm like, fuck. Like it's also a lesson because I'm like, damn, like that kind of sucked. I probably should fucking try to fuck with fire, as I'm driving. It took away all my rage from driving. I was like, damn, I guess I should really stop raging about people in general. I just was angry at that motherfucker and I did some stupid shit. So anyhow, right, like, after going to approach the girl, I'm like, I get this weird insecurity. I'm like, damn, what if I'm on the date and then she like gets into my car and she like looks at my tire and she's like, this fucking loser. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why do I think this shit? This is so stupid. Like, straight up.
It never fucking ends. That's the thing. It just never ends. You think, okay, once you get that tire fixed and it's all set, all that shit.
Now I'm gonna get loads of pussy.
Yeah, now you get to the next level. You're like, oh man, dude, maybe I should get a new, obviously no haircut, but or some fucking new shit. Like I'm trying to relate to you and shit. Anyway, maybe it's like fucking or maybe something, or maybe I'm not like shredded enough, or like where the fuck does it end? It's like it's a never ending cycle, and you're dead. Like now you're like, oh fuck, like my life is over. So
that's why I think it's important. So I'd say this: it's very important to, listen to these things inside of your head every once in a while, because it's like, okay, well, this could potentially be something that increases your value a little bit. Like every little thing counts, right? I could go and spend $500 on my tire, to get the rim checked and get my rim reordered online and put it in and everything like that. It's just about I'm not financially wanting to spend $500 on a fucking tire when I literally bought one that was took its place for $100 and it works fine. At this point, I'm just like, I feel like this just, I can do it. It's just a waste of money. I feel like in terms of retrospect, but at the same time, right, I can at some point be like, okay, I should probably get this taken care of because what am I waiting for? Not only with that, it's like the physique, you want to make sure that your physique, you're shredded and all of that. And then, for some people, right, it's like getting on TRT therapy or something like that, or, getting on T or roids or whatever the fuck it is in the bodybuilding scenes and all that good stuff. Right. And that can kind of be like a cheat code, I guess, but it's obviously men who are on that are kind of you see them in the gym and they shredded as fuck. Like those are the, insane, I'm shredded, bro. But you can naturally, you can naturally look good, but you're just not going to look as good as that. And so, even then it's you can take a look at that and be instead of doing it for the women, it's does that increase your value on the inside? Does that, increase like my love for myself, you know, like maybe I want to be fucking super jacked. I want to look like fucking, like I use my finger to lift 400 pounds, bro. Like I don't know. I don't know what that feels like, but it's like at some point, you know, if your haircut's not right or any of that shit, just get rid of the excuses. And then like, you know, if those things do come up when you're about to go, you know, approach somebody or, you know, date or do any of these life lessons, like maybe take care of them first. Cool. But at the same time though, like don't think that like all that is like valuable to everybody. It's like really just a genuine, like just face your fear and just do it anyway. You'll get the result, you know, whether or not you have the fucking tire fixed or not, right? Like you want to find out if she likes you or not. Like she's going to be like, hey, go fuck yourself or.
And I was like, oh, well, time to go back, I guess. But like, fuck it. But the thing is you free yourself, right? That it's a chain reaction. It's like a lot of things I do is because it really does take me out of my comfort zone, right? Mm-hmm. I try to I always try to take a hardest way, and like, which is in a way, I think it's like being too hard on yourself, but it's also, it paves the way to like say face your fears is the toughest shit you have to do, right? Yeah. Sometimes it has its ways, right? Like sometimes you just do this because you're trying to avoid the real shit that you need to do. Yeah. Or exactly. Also, but I see it in a way it's like when I go through these, you know, a lot of difficult times or like tough situations, and I try to like overcome those or trying to overcome some things I'm fearful of, then the chain reaction keeps going.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's it. And that's why, like, one of the reasons too, like I told you, I was like up to like 220. I was like fucking pulling all this fucking weight, dude, on my back. I'm like, dude, one day I remember I was like, holy shit. Like I really, it's like, and it was just like, I was stocky, dude. And I'm like, fuck am I doing this for? Like, it's painful. Like, it's not painful. Like, I had to like tell myself, I mean, yes, at some point it went from like, yes, I did achieve. Okay. I wanted to be strong, but like at some point it became like, I had to keep up something and I had to be something maybe I'm not really passionate. So I was real with myself and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to cut weight. I couldn't even maintain it. Eating 4,000 calories. I'm like, okay, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
It's not really like I did it. Good job. You know, you did what you.
I think it's easier to get into those modes now that you've done it. Cause it's like now you have the knowledge to figure out, oh, I need to learn how to do any energy expenditure and increase more energy that I'm burning. Right. Like, so I need to eat more calories instead of burning more. You know, like you figure out these things as you go through like a weight loss journey or a weight gain journey, basically. I don't really know how the weight gain journey is because I was never skinny, unfortunately. But I could tell that I know some days when I eat a fuck ton of food, it feels like shit. You know, but at the same time though, right? You put in all that work to get to 220 and you're at a good weight, you're like strong as fuck. You know, like now, like, I mean, if you're not that fucking serious about bodybuilding and stuff like that, like, hey, you've achieved your goal and like you can kind of focus on some other stuff again, just like maintain, you know, that area where you feel good and look good again, you know, like, and I say I burned out, like I've been increasingly fasting the fuck out of myself to like be shredded. And I'm like, honestly, like I got down to like 190 and I'm like, I look like a stick, bro. What the fuck am I doing this shit for? Like, I need to like eat protein again and eat some meals and then I can like, you know, shred out. But at the end of the day, right, it's you don't have to do anything crazy. You figure out the lesson, get it done, and then move on from that.
But you did it though. But that's the thing. One thing is like you didn't live with what ifs, right? Like you should never be hard on yourself for being hard on yourself. I think that's a great thing is like, that's what gets you places, right? Fuck, it hurts when you're into it. Like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you're a piece of shit. Whatever. I get it. Like, it was fucking bad, but like sometimes that's what you needed to do, right? Yeah. Like, do I feel like I wasted my time doing that whole bodybuilding, whatever, like, you know, side bulking up phase? Fuck no, because I learned so much shit. I knew that I could fucking say, fuck it. I could put 500 pounds on my back and be like, fuck it, I'm going down. Fuck, like you're mentally put you in a place where like, oh fuck, you really said that and did it. Yep. So yes, it might have been sometimes, you know, you might have overdone it a little bit, but at the same time, you have that mindset. You did something, you know. It's better than just sitting there saying, oh well, you know, maybe it's not for me. You went and did it, realized, okay, this is where I want it to end, and you keep going. That's what it is.
Exactly. But you know, everyone starts somewhere too. So absolutely. I think that's a very solid point, is just like overcome your fears. Don't be afraid to start something new. Like be able to like be new at something and move forward through it. Not only that, like learn when to stop. Like don't fucking go crazy balls to the wall and shit that you don't need to do. But like, if it feels like it gives you a sense of accomplishment, if there are things that you need to get done, take care of them, but don't let everything that you need to get done be the excuse to not pursue something today. Like you have more power than you think whenever you face these fears, because that's all fear is just throwing it, like the insecurity at you and being like, hey bro, like, you're doing this. And at the end of the day, as long as you're on a successful mission as a man, to enjoy your life and have fun and take care of yourself. And I mean, like, what else do you really need? Like, a lot of people have this thing where it's like they feel like they have to just consistently be this like anarchy machine, of perfection, and it's just like we're all fucking human, man.
I think that's great that you also have some say. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's the greatest thing about it. It's like, why did I even start a skydiving video? Like, I hired one of the guys I know, a cameraman, and it's like, why did I not use I've seen guys with red cameras. Why are you not like, makeup guy in the back, whatever? Because that's what people need to see is that it's you, dude. Like, that's why, like, if you've seen even that little trailer thing I did for that, for the documentary, it's like, it's fucking me, man. Like, it's just like, that's the problem. People are all so filtered out. Like, you want a perfect, you just have this, everybody wants to start off with the final product. Mm-hmm. That can't fucking happen because the problem is it's not their fault. It's what they see all the time. Yeah. So like everything is what you see. So what it is that people need to see the process. Mm-hmm. Like they need to see you, stuttering on the shit all the way where you're fucking one day and like, hey, that way you're like, people are not scared to do what they need to do. People are not going to be like, oh my God, I'm not fucking. People have to see that. That's the golden thing. It's not the fucking what you look like at the end. It's like, I don't know how this relates, but I kind of like it. But he's like, he said something about, is it the journey or the destination? It's like, no, it's the company, which is like fucking cool. In a way, it relates to this because it's like,
I like that.
You really like it. Definitely, it's the progress. Somebody going through it, seeing it, what you're doing, and kind of like they're also going through the journey, right? With you. Yeah. And the company is the key, because you're showing them what the fuck the journey is, Yeah,
exactly. I would say like that's a good thing for like influencing. Like I would say like if you're trying to influence people, if you're trying to like, because like my whole thing is advice. I just want guys to like avoid mistakes that I've made, like, being sad about stupid shit, like, not facing your fear and going out and asking some girl, whatever it is, it's advice in general on this channel, right? And we've gone on, so we've literally gone over like tons of information in such a short period of time. That was like we had ding 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 like lesson, bro. Like these people, like if you watch this, man, and you don't get any value out of this video itself, like you're missing out. You gotta go back, rewatch this shit, and figure it the fuck out.
But you gotta give me like a little clip. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram, just like a little teaser.
Yeah. I can do on my phone. I can record some. I mean, even then,
do something. I'll put it on my page.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I can do like what is it, like a file transfer or something like that, like a Dropbox.
Google Drive.
There's huge files. I don't know if Dropbox like has like
just take like compress it, just make it like a little real thing where it's just like you take certain parts, just kind of like a trailer, and then just kind of just send me that, not the whole thing. So then it'd be like. Then that will lead traction to your YouTube channel, right? So it's not the whole.
I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll have the file still, and then whatever part you liked, I'll re-record it like as I'm watching it, and do that, and then I'll send it to you that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like I said, this is like the first time I'm actually like, I'm not gonna lie to you, just being in a fucking interview that's not so strict, like you don't have it's like
dude, I was so tired of. Like, I don't know what it was, but I was just so tired of like trying to figure out what the channel is going to be about or whatever. I'm just like, I was sitting there making the advice videos, and those are great. Like I still make those and have like, some vlogs in my life and then explain a lesson on them. But then I was just like, man, like I don't have to just talk about advice. Like it can also be just fun. Like I want to talk to everybody that I know. I socialize with so many fucking people, and I'm networked with so many people. Like even if I've met someone for like one day or whatever the fuck, I'm like, hey, like come talk with me. If we ever met and we liked hanging out or whatever the fucking case may be, I want everybody to get a chance to talk or whatever, And you look at Joe Rogan's podcast, it's like a really good example. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm trying to be exactly like him, but like there's lessons in ways that people do things differently. And I just realized, I was like, I think there's like a branding lesson where it's like, you know, you could have tons of people doing advice channels, right? But like no one will literally do it like you do it.
Exactly.
You know, like it doesn't matter, you know, like I could talk and we could have this conversation, and like in the world, literally somewhere, nobody has ever heard of, you know, this. No one's ever talked about, you know, what we're talking about. And so it's a brand new experience for everybody, regardless if we have the same bits of information that we're all scattering from around the universe or whatever, giving it out. Like, you know, it's still just new right now.
Yeah. Someone will take value out of it, right? It's just that's
exactly
what it is. Yeah. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter how saturated the market could be. It's like somebody out there could be inspired, right? Like that's the whole thing you do it for, right? It's like, you know, like Tupac said, one of the craziest things is like, he said, I might not change the world, but I guarantee you I'll inspire the motherfucker that would.
Exactly.
It's fucking deep, dude. You know, that's just it. Like, it's just like, yeah, you might have 5 views, but out of those 5 views, one dude is going to be like, fuck, this shit changed my life.
Yeah, there's one rule that I live by, and it's basically, it was with music too. I used to do a little production and, you know, DJing, stuff like that. But I also, you know, I used to make video game content back in the day. Nobody knows about this because I fucking deleted all the shit, the content. I mean, it's somewhere on a YouTube channel somewhere. But I used to do commentaries, and I would like literally talk to the camera and be like giving people, like I was like in high school being like, oh, what to do as a senior, you know, and what to not do as a freshman. Like, don't fucking go and be a loser, you know, like, or whatever it was. It's so stupid. But
you're creating stuff.
I've always been like that. And then now we're just upgraded to just talking to people like hand in hand. I'm like, I'm the same fucking little dork that played Modern Warfare all day, you know, like, but now we're just trying to provide some more value for the world and do it while it's fun, you know?
Exactly.
I love having these conversations with people, you know, and this gives us a chance to connect too, you know, like I don't think we've had any deep conversations, you know, like straight up, like now it's just like, hey, now we know each other. We can fucking do it again in another month or whatever the hell. Like I've been telling people, I'm like, let me know when you want to come back on. I'll do it.
Fuck yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Greatest thing is just a conversation, right? It's not scripted.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a makeup dude on the back, you know, like it's just like it's like fucking just shooting shit. And you know, some people get something out of it, some people want to listen, and that's how it is.
Absolutely. So we have to wrap this up soon, but I have a few more questions, obviously, just, you know, because of the channel. So, you know, we got about, you know, a little bit about dating in general. I don't know if you're seeing anybody, you got girlfriends, whatever the boyfriends. I don't know what you got going on. But anyhow, how do you see, you know, dating in the world today down in Austin? I feel like I had a really hard time down there. I don't know exactly why, but are you in the dating scene right now, dating pool? How do you see it down there?
I mean, I'll say, yeah, I'm single. Like, I mean, obviously, like you're in the data era, right? Like nowadays, you're in the days of like people have Bumble, Hinge, you know, dude can have like, you know, a girl can have like, you know, 1,000 people like at one go, right? Like it's just the scalability. It's like, it's not like the old days where like, okay, I'm gonna put myself out there and I'll talk to somebody. Or one person could write. Then you see that thing. It takes a lot of the, you know, the drive that's needed to actually go do something. It's one of the main reasons this, right? Because you could just be like, you don't know if somebody likes you. You like, okay, cool, we match, right?
Exactly.
Shit like that. You're in such a volume game. Like people have like this, just like, all right, so now since like when you think of it like a job interview and you're a company and you have 10,000 applicants, right?
Yeah.
Solid ass, like probably most of them are solid, pretty solid. You're probably going to look at the littlest like thing that's off, or like, next one. But the thing is, nobody has forever to do that, right?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Everybody ages, and then now you're like, oh fuck, like you're just going through things, right? It's just it become a number game, and it's bad because then you become like, you know, the time passes and you're just like, fuck. I mean, personally, me, I would just say like, if it was, I'd rather just like meet somebody in person. Yeah,
exactly. I feel like you can still do that, but it's a matter of like, whenever I feel like I do it online, I get the roundabout a lot. And I'm like, why are you acting like this? Like, you know, if, you know, sometimes I'll talk to them in person. Everybody's cool in person. Everybody's like really cool. But then they have like their alter ego online. And all of a sudden it's like,
man, that's like hiding behind the keyboard warriors, man. It's not just, you know, it's not just like aggression. It's just in anything. It's just like you're somebody. you're behind an image. It's not you. That's why like you probably talk to someone like Kendra and Bumble. You meet them in person. It's like a whole new animal. Like, who the fuck is this?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? That's the thing. It's just like, I think it's kind of, it might have like, I mean, it has its benefits, obviously. That's why it's like, because it connects people from wherever you are, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And at the same time, like it gives the people to connect. Back then it's just like, okay, where am I going to go? You're going to go around looking for. It gives ability to connect. But however, and everything is a balance, right? And if you do it too much, then like too much option, you over, stimulate the whole person, and now you're just over here just scattered around. You're just lost. A lot of options cause problems.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm hearing like lately. I mean, I've been hearing this basically that your Instagram is actually your new dating profile. And basically the new strategy is, instead of like going swiping around on Tinder all the fucking time, it's like meet these girls in person, send them to your Instagram, let them look at your profile, and then, you go back and forth maybe on there. You can talk to them through the Insta message or whatever, but then you see them again. And then if they see their clout and they basically like what you're about, then like basically 1 + 1 = 2.
That makes sense. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, you always got to see, like, there's always benefits and stuff, right? That way, if you're going out with a chick too, and like you don't know her, like, and then next thing you know, like, at least the Instagram gives you like, data, like, and there's a benefit to it, right? I guess, but I think that I could see that there could be a benefit where like, you're not talking to some like weird ass dude, you don't even fucking, girl, exactly. Whatever it is, and it's more, it gives a more background on somebody, which makes sense, I guess. But more, I'm more about like just the options is good because, like I said, there's always great things that come out of social media because it brings people together. But obviously, the other downside is also that too many options, you're very picky and time flies and all that. And it goes both ways, not just guys, girls. And every way you look at it, everybody keep going like time runs forever, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And it doesn't. And then when you hit a certain point, you start hitting critical levels in your head. Oh my God, like, hey, I'm almost at the finish line, That's the thing. I think it's just like more seeing value and not just chasing like validation and shit like that. I don't know. I'm not an expert, man, but this is kind of like my take on it.
No, I feel you. I always like to ask everybody like this question because I'm just like, I'm curious to see what other people are finding in the market right now, the sexual market or whatever the fuck's going on. Because I feel like it's hella confusing for everybody. And I'm trying to find not necessarily solutions, but like I've done a lot of like intersexual dynamic studies, and I'm just like kind of seeing and seeing what guys are going through versus what girls are going through, like, what strategy people are using, like why is it, either is it hard for people or is it easy? Like, so I think hence why I ask. Yeah.
No, it's a great point too, but it's also people like, you see yourself as a person, right? And you want to bring value to the world. Like, you don't see yourself like as an animal on a mating call, right? You're like, people are so lost in it too. Like, you just don't want to be lost in it. It's like, find yourself. Like, when you do whatever you do, something will come. Like, I know it's cliche as fucking all that shit's over in the internet, but it's like, you cannot like adjust yourself for someone else, right? And you gotta focus on your, like, once you do that, you fall. Like, everybody's stressed out. Like, it's like, oh my God.
Guys, focus on your mission first, and then like basically let it be an addition to that. Because like the more you get closer to that shit, like it's almost like energetically you're happier because you're achieving things in your life, and instead of like, girls obviously they'll find you attractive or whatever, but it's not their main thing. Like for guys, it's like we look at tits and we're like, oh, woo. Like we just get like fucking animal hungry, right? And we're like, damn, like she got a fat ass. Like, like we do all that shit, and then like we're more like sexual towards it. We're like, we just want to fuck right away. We're like, all right, let's fuck. Like like this is it. And then, but for women, it's like no, like they need to feel security in some type of way, but they also need to feel your energy, right? And like that's why girls like will vibe with you in person for a second, and if you're vibing energetically, then you can kind of move things forward. I feel like, and with that energy though, you won't be able to emit that like boss ass motherfucker energy if you're not on your shit, So
exactly,
I always say just go for the mission first.
Exactly. Like, just what do you have to talk about? Like, if you're always taking everybody's mission stories and trying to write your own mission, it's not the same thing as doing it yourself, right? Like, I think it's always you just can't like go around, hopefully trying to fit some sort of category, right? It's just kind of fucking do your shit. Yeah. Like, fuck it. Like, dude, like at the end of the day, man, you're going to fucking die alone, dude. And that's something I know it's hard for people to accept, but that's your fucking final fate. It's just it. Like, you have to accept that. All right. Either someone's going to come with you around the line or not. Fuck it. Like, sometimes it's good to be, all right, this is it. Like, that's the same thing when I was on skydiving up there. I was like, all right, dude. Okay. At the end, fuck it.
Like,
I'm gonna die
at some point, yeah. So if it's today, then cool. I guess I achieved, as much as I could.
Yeah, I fucking did what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, that's what you need to focus on. I always say,
make sure you're happy when you die.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen, dude. So it's like, and also but accepting sometimes what the final fate is, it's like it will save you so much burden throughout, right? Like whatever, like you can find somebody, sure. If not, fine. It's okay being alone. There's nothing wrong with that. Once you understand these ideas, it's like you'll be free because now that's a lot of like I have a lot of girls here that are friends, and like I have guys too, like bros, all that shit. Mm-hmm. And then like I hear all both sides. Oh my god, what am I going to play?
Yeah.
Oh, they get the fuck out and do some shit. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, bro, like I mean, it's easier said than done for sure. Like, I mean, obviously I have my own demons too when it comes to this shit.
Yeah.
But honestly, at least if I don't practice it, at least you try something, But like, it's the truth. At least I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fucking do whatever. I'm jumping out the sky, man. I'm fucking surfing. I'm doing what I want to do, creating what I want to create. At least I'm trying my best just to create who I want to be, and not more of a narrative that I have to fit somebody else.
Exactly. And I think more guys should focus on that instead of like, at the end of the day, we all want to get laid, but at the same time, it's like, dude, if that's like the only reason why you're doing anything in life, like you need to reevaluate and understand it. Because I was even guilty of doing that shit. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking go lift because I want to fuck. At the end of the day, though, you can't. Be the only reason why you're doing something. Like, now I'm just like, now I like just want to look big. Like I genuinely like want to broadcast, hey, this motherfucker knows like he about to level up. Because I mean, I don't know if I told you that I'm starting a cycle in like 2 weeks, probably. So I'm gonna see where we go with that and see how big we get.
No, I'm fucking dude. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And like, if you do it for the right reasons, like, who knows shit, dude? Like I said, you're gonna die anyway, dude. But I mean, if you consider all the outcomes that could be, and is that something you want to do? Who the fuck am I to tell you? You know what I mean? That's it. You're on the right path. So
hell yeah.
And then somebody will find some other chick that runs the cycle too. Then y'all both bros. Exactly. And then y'all stay. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not just fucking around, but like I'm just saying, like that's it. It's just if you just gotta dance your own dance, and somebody will dance with you. But if you're always trying to like jump in somebody else's dance, like what the fuck, like
I agree with that. That's actually a good fucking way to put that. I don't think I mean I know about like the dance of relationships or whatever, but it's like, yeah, you're right. Like you don't. If you as a man can just get your dance down, figure that shit out, like eventually you're going to meet other like individuals who are single or whatever, who are dancing their game too. And all of a sudden you bump into each other like, oh, I guess, hey, you want to dance? Like, what's up? Like
I said, at the end of the day, this is my analogy. I am no guru. I am no fucking life coach. I have nothing figured out. And that's what one thing people have to understand is like, oh, like they want some like, I don't fucking know shit. I'm just this is like my assessment on everything, right?
You know what the best advice, though, really is that like people who aren't gurus. It's like I always like to straight up. I'm not a relationship guru. I mean, I'm fucking single as fuck. Like I've had many failed relationships. I have been terrible. I've been great, but I've also been bad. Like so at the end of the day, it's like I feel like some of the best analogies can come from people who have been failures at these things like dating but also being really good at them, right? Like there's things you can take away from both positive and negatives, as long as you're aware of all of it, but continue to strive to be better after both of those, right? There's times where being too positive was too much of a blinding array, and then like some fuck shit happened because you were being too positive about it. But then there's sometimes you're being too negative where it's like nothing really bad happened, but yet you turn somebody into this thing where like they hate you now, so at the end of the day, yeah.
Like I said, man, just kind of dance your dance, and we both, like I said, we're all, it's like the blind leading the blind, but at least dude, I could be like, hey dude, there's a fucking rock right there, just don't fucking trip. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's a rock there, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Because how because I just felt like that's it. That's all you could.
What's funny though is that like at least 80% of people are gonna hear that and they're gonna go fucking trip over it anyway. Just be like, damn, does it actually hurt?
Some people gotta learn that way, but like, I mean, the best you can do is give some points and say fuck it,
bro. It's like me, bro. It's like I swear, I'm that person. I'll go and trip over the rock just to make sure.
That's you, dude. Maybe it wasn't a rock. Maybe my shoes were untied and I thought it was a rock. Fuck it. Like, there you go. But like, best you could do is just kind of give your input on things, right? I thought it was a rock. I guess it's not. Now you're fixed the theory, right? That's
exactly.
Like,
hell yeah, man. Well, let's wrap this up. So I always let people kind of obviously give one last piece of advice. Like, if you had to give, everybody something to just take away from you in general, if they never talk to you again or see you again, what would you tell the world right now of advice?
Just chill out, man. Like,
chill out.
Fuck out. Like, it's like, yeah, that's it. It's just like none of this is ever gonna come with you. It's just like there's no reason for like a lot of even my own stuff. Like, I should probably chill the fuck out too. I'm probably the main dude that needs to chill the fuck out, and that's it. And just like it's nothing is forever, and that's it. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to manifest that myself. So I think it would be great if somebody else does it too. So
yeah. So if any person's out there and you feel like life is really fucking heavy for you, it's not getting fun anymore, learn to chill the fuck out. Everything's gonna be aight. At the end of the day, I'm even guilty of it myself. I don't know how to fucking relax. I'm fucking like literally like I'll get off this call and I'll probably go in there and pace in the living room for like fucking 20 minutes being like, fuck, all right, so we got this interview done. Now I got to figure out how to upload it. Now I got to figure out how to do clips. Let me go ahead and upload it to YouTube for a certain schedule. I'm like, shit like that. It's just like, that stuff is good, guys, but don't forget to enjoy the process. And sometimes those processes of working it out is good, but
yeah, like nothing is what it seems. So
exactly. Hell yeah, Nebby. Well, bro, I fucking appreciate you for being on, man. Hopefully we can do this again at some point, and we'll have some new things to talk about. Maybe your world of Nebby. You start uploading yourself, man, and then we'll fucking talk about that. See how that's going.
Because, like I said, this is literally like my first I think it's like a real like podcast kind of interview. So I was like, hey, this is a day for me as well. So
yeah, got to start somewhere, man. So also give the people your Instagram or socials or whatever you want people to follow you on. If you at some point get people.
I think I changed it. I changed I think to World of Nebby. I don't know why, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the handle.
That's okay, bro. Like mine was real. Mine was like Dallas from Dallas, and I've gone to like RealDallasN. I don't know what the fuck I'm calling myself nowadays.
Yeah, somehow just Nebby. Just I'll probably be like pretty like hard name to get. Like so.
Just Nebby.
Fuck, dude. You know what? That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
Take it actually.
Me and my cousin used to, if we ever, I guess my cousin invented this. If he was ever invited to do something that he didn't really want to do, he'd be like, just nah.
Yeah.
His handle was like, just nah. Like,
for real.
Hilarious.
That's actually kind of cool, Jim. Holy fuck.
Absolutely.
That was a good one. Hey, you really did come up with something right there.
Dude, my cousin's a genius with that shit. I don't know what he's on, but Jordan, if you're watching this ever, you fucking little mad genius. He comes up with some of the most creative things ever. The dude's just like, if I had to describe him in like any word, it would just be like, he just like sets trends in a way. He gets it, but he does it in like such a cool way. And I'm like, how the fuck you be like that? Like, how do you come up with this shit? It's just so smooth. I'm like, oh, fuck it, man. Gotta respect it.
No, dude, that was a good one. I was actually looking it up right now. See if hold up. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now while on stage. If this is we have to do audible. Holy shit! Hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
We audible into his fucking Instagram handle, guys. We gonna figure out if it's World of Nebby or just Nebby.
Holy shit! Let's see. Nah, it's fucking taken. God damn.
What about just Nebby _
maybe.
Or just _ Nebby?
Oh, it's not taken. Just Nebby.
Damn.
Oh, dude, that's actually pretty good. Okay. Let me see who Just Nebby is. Like,
I like World of Nebby too, bro. Whatever you choose to make your Instagram handle.
There's literally nobody says Just Nebby, but they just don't want to give it to me. Oh my god.
I think there's hidden profiles of people too. I used to work at Instagram, and they have certain names that are tucked away for that so that no one can take them.
Come on, dude.
I tried to get Dallas.
Yeah, but like,
no one can have Dallas.
Jets Nebby, fuck, amazing, dude. Look, we did something on this today.
Let's go. We making moves.
We are making moves. That's actually better. I like it. Just Nebby. Fuck it.
All right, so it's just Nebby. Is it just
Yeah,
underscore Nebby?
Yeah, and then the little underscore thing, like under dash, like, you know, that's what it's called, right? Underscore.
So just underscore Nebby. What is it?
No, just Nebby underscore.
Okay, just Nebby underscore, guys. Go to the Instagram, follow it up. I know some of y'all gonna watch this video. Go do it now. Anyhow, man, I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed the video, look forward to the next podcast. Look forward to the next video. Comment down below if you liked it. You got any insights out of it? If you like Nebby, let us know. Also, watch the next video if you can. There's probably going to be one that pops up, but also check out the playlist. You can also look at my advice videos as well. If you're wanting like kind of a shorter video and you don't got a lot of time on your hands, feel free to watch those as well. And subscribe to the fucking channel. But anyways, guys, have a great day nonetheless, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.